Wait for it. Wait for it. Here it goes. I got this coffee for free today. I walked into Starbucks and walked up to the counter, per usual, when I go to get coffee for podcasting time. And this girl rang me in, and she came up, and she was like, what would you like? I was like, hot black coffee, medium. Then she asked what roast I wanted, blonde, medium, or dark. I don't know the difference between any of those. Maybe you do. So here's what I think. Blonde is weak. Medium strong. Dark, super strong. Don't think that's correct, but that's what's stuck in my head. And then she just like looked at the register, tried to do something, then looked at me and just was like mumbled something. She's like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like leaned in. I was like, huh? Because everyone wears masks these days and it was like hard to hear. And she's like, you're all set. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, you're all set. And I had my credit card out, and she just kind of like waved it off. And I was like, thank you. Dropped $1 in the little tip thing, walked out, stoked. Free coffee. One thing I like better than coffee is free coffee. Chew. All right, stoked to be back. We got an awesome podcast today. I got to pay some bills first, so let's do that now. Each and every episode is brought to you by All I Need. If you guys could support the podcast by checking out All I Need Skate on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, watch the videos, share them, hit the like button, turn on the notifications. Any engagement like that with the channel on YouTube, it helps us. It helps grow our audience, and we make a little bit of revenue, ad revenue on there from YouTube. So right now, I think we're up to like $600 because I just been saving it, and I put the threshold at $1,000. So when we get to $1,000, I think I'm going to take that money from the YouTube channel and pay for advertising on Thrasher for our next full-length video. See what I did there? I took the vlogs and all the fun and all the sessions we have, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to turn it into full-length video advertising on Thrasher for our next video. That would be epic. I think that's the win-win. But yeah, when you guys check out our YouTube channel, you subscribe, notifications, like, thumbs, all that stuff, comment, engage, watch the videos all the way through, let the ads play. That helps us and supports this channel. Also, please follow us on Instagram at All I Need Skate. So YouTube and Instagram are the main two that we're really focused on. We also have a Facebook, All I Need Skateboarding. You can go on there. We engage there, but mostly Instagram and YouTube. Check out the website. Can you guess what it is? allineedskate.com. Trying to stay consistent. We have all our merch up there. T-shirts, hoodies, beanies, hats. I think the beanies are sold out. Snapback hats. We got some new banners dropping on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. I'm really excited for you guys to check those out. I'll throw them up on the store, the online skate shop. Socks. All I Need socks, 2 different colors. The best socks in the world. You can buy them in a single, 3-pack, or 6-pack. Again, I suggest 6-pack because they're awesome socks and you're going to want to wear them every day. So 6, you'll have them for almost every day of the week, except for Monday. You can mix and match on Monday, 2 different colors. That's what you'll already do laundry by then. So, yeah. So check out All I Need Skate. Today we have a new sponsor, which I'm really stoked to be a part of. Let me pull up the ad read because this is my first time. But I'm stoked to have them sponsoring the podcast. They're going to do a month sponsorship. They said if we could move some of the product, people use the code that we're going to give you, move some of the product, they'll extend the month to a yearly sponsorship, which would be rad and really help out the show. But let me pull up the ad read real quick so I can do this. And please bear with me. I'm probably going to butcher it. It's my first time reading this thing. Well, I read it earlier today, but it's my first time reading it while recording. All right. Support for the All I Need podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in man's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Yee! They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Excuse me. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. That's a lot of dudes. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code AIN at manscaped.com. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of tools and formulations for their Perfect Package 3.0 kit. This thing came in. It's really good branding. The box, super solid. Everything in there has like an extra little touch to it. And I really love that because like I ship out skateboards and t-shirts and stuff, and I always add like a 4-inch sticker in with our decks. I try to get like the best boxes and the best packing material and stuff, just a little extra so it stands out. And yeah, they sent some really cool stuff, and it was all branded really, 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 really well. You can tell they put their time into it. It's a solid brand. Yeah, I'll show off some of the products. So here is the actual groomer, the little shaver. This thing's got this sleek little handle. Feels really good on the side. Just an on-off button. This thing works wonderful. Comes in a little Manscaped Refining the Gentleman bag, which is nice because once you use it, just bag it up. Bam, dang, dang, dang. Also, I've been using some ball deodorant. In case you didn't know, your balls might need deodorant. I wasn't really aware of that, but this stuff is awesome. Take a shower, dry myself off, put a little bit on there, just keeps it from, it's anti-chafing, just keeps it feeling good down there. Got a nice little smell. I feel like I did a little extra. But yeah, this is the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant. And then, let's see what else. They also sent Manscaped Refining the Gentleman Crop Reviver Refreshing Ball Toner with active pH control. I've yet to use this one. It's still in plastic, but I'll get on it because I got the next 4 podcasts Manscaped has supported, so I'll get on that one too. But so far, I went downstairs, did a little shaving. Doesn't really grow up here, if you've noticed. I have a hard time growing the hair on top of my head right where you're supposed to have it, but down there grows like a wildfire, man. I actually grew it out for this. I was like, you know what, got a new sponsor. Can't grow it out here, like, how most kids are like parting their hair, doing all types of fancy shit. Can't do it. But I was like, you know what? I get my shot to grow things out. Grew it out down there. Had the thing parted down the middle, growing way too long. It was getting ridiculous. Took the shaver to it. Damn, went right through that shit. Like when you're mowing your backyard and it's just a thick lawn out there. And sometimes your lawnmower gets jammed up and stuff. Not this. This thing just boom right through, dude. Handled it. Quick and easy. Had the vacuum, cleaned everything up. Bang. Done. All right, Manscaped has created the best ball hair trimmer ever, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their 3rd generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I now feel confident shaving my boys. And I did. I didn't feel nervous at all. I was down there, didn't nick anything. It was all good, my G's. In addition, this trimmer comes with a LED light for a more precise shave and is waterproof to make your shower shave clean and easy. Nice. I didn't know that. And don't use the same trimmer you use on your face as your balls. Good advice right there, Just fucking take it to your butthole, and then on your face. Not good. That's how you get pink eye. Don't want to do that. Not good. That would be a bad thing to do. Don't do it. Let's see where I left. Oh, they wrote, that's just nasty. I agree. The Lawnmower 3.0 comes inside their brand new Perfect Package 3.0, which comes with everything you need to keep trimmed, cut free, and smelling nice down there. Yeah, so the Perfect Package 3.0 is what they sent me. Came in a sick box. All the stuff came in it. I was like, ready to go. The Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the Crop Preserver, Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, and Moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And yes, your balls stink. Especially if you're skating all day, you ain't done shit, and all you did was skate all day, and it's just like they've just been sitting down there, and then you never took care of it. But if you wear that deodorant, then things are going to be crispy, man. Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, I'm thankful for their Crop Reviver. This product, along with crop preserver, keeps your balls from sweating, smelling, sticking. Manscaped threw in 2 free gifts into their perfect package: a pair of high-performance Manscaped boxer briefs that'll keep your junk feeling fresh all day, and a travel shed bag to store all the grooming goodies. I showed you the bag. I did rock the boxers, quality boxers, really enjoyed them. Rocked them twice now. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code AIN at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code AIN. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Okay, I'll put the link in the description. Again, if you support our sponsors, you support this show, which means a lot to us. So use the code AIN when checking out at manscaped.com. And if we sell some of these things, keeps the sponsorship going for the show, which would be epic. Next up, this episode is brought to you by the infamous World Industries. Please check out worldindustries.com for their skateboards and apparel. World Industries has always been about artwork, artists, and skateboards and apparel and footwear too. They've just always supported skateboarders and artists, which is amazing. The amount of art that World Industries has put out over the 30 years they've been in business, staggering. They've supported and paid artists to create some epic stuff. And then their skate team, skateboarders started the brand, and they've supported skateboarders for 30 years of just sponsoring epic skateboarders, creating content, and giving back to the culture. So it's a legendary brand for a reason. So please check out worldindustries.com. And if you cop something from there, that supports this podcast, keeps the lights on, keep the episodes coming, and we appreciate it. Okay, I think that's enough for ads. Today's episode, I have my good friend Greg Smith, a.k.a. Schmitty, on the show. Schmitty is an epic human, great photographer, all-around classic human being. He's been in the thick of the skateboard industry and SF and for many years, over 20, 30 years. Worked at Thrasher for a long time. We talk a bunch about his endeavors with Think and with working with Phelps, and we talk about a whole bunch of stuff, man. I really enjoyed this podcast, and Schmitty is the fucking man. This was a 2-parter though, so we tried something new here. We started out with me interviewing Greg, and then at the end of this podcast, we stopped recording, and then we started recording again, and he did a podcast with me where he was the host for his show. So there's going to be 2 episodes dropping at the same day, so you could watch ours, you could watch this one, and then you can head over to Talking Schmidt, which I'll put the link in the description, to his epic podcast. He's had some heavy guests on. I think he just had Bucky Lassick on recently too. And you can hear my episode on his show. So pretty stoked for that. It's a cool concept. It was really fun to do. And I really hope you enjoy this episode. I know I did. And I can't wait to catch up with them again. So now for the episode. Keep killing it, my homies. Welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for being here. My guest today is Mr. Schmitty. Greg, thank you for being on the show. Hell yeah. How's it going, man?
It's going. I'm hanging in there. I've been having a little bit of friend loss. People are dying a lot these days, and it's been gnarly. But I'm just, I don't want to go down the depression hole. But this has been a tough. Everybody knows in skateboarding, we lost Joe Hammocky, who was one of my best friends. Maybe a day before, we lost Jonas Ray. Not to get corny, but DMX going down was kind of like big for a lot of people. And it's just been heavy, man. Like with the pandemic and everything, living in isolation in San Francisco, it's pretty serious here. So much like New York, we have, small properties like apartment style. And I'm like boy in the bubble kind of, but I don't know. I'm just trying to keep that optimism, and I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. So I think this year is going to be good towards the end, but it's been challenging.
Yeah, man. 2020 was challenging, and then to start 2021 off, like with the losses like that was heavy, man. I definitely know the skateboard industry is feeling it for sure. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I did it. I was just talking about it on my one of my last shows, and I was just kind of like reflecting on it, and I'm like, this is a lot, dude. And there's a lot of people that I know and care about that were like really close to these people, and they're dead. Like Susky called me out of the blue and was just like a little tipsy, just like letting off some steam, and I was like, it just really put it into like reality because I'm out in Massachusetts and like I knew Joe, but I didn't know him as well as a lot of these dudes out here that spent those hours in the van and like, but yeah, man, it's a crazy way to start off the new year, you know. But we
Yep.
shall survive. We shall survive and keep going, man.
Yeah. Where are you? So are you in Mass?
Yeah, I'm like outside Boston, about a half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm in this town called Plainville, and so it's a cool little spot, man. It's a
Okay.
lot of energy and a lot of stuff moving on, but it feels like a Plainville. It's kind of like feels like a small town, which is
Huh.
crazy.
Nice.
Where are you exactly?
NSF, like
Uh,
right in the heart, right by where the Giants play and the train station is, like right off the freeway.
All right. Well, that leads me to like, what's the overall vibe of the city? Like, I know that it's kind of rough with COVID and everything. Maybe take me to that, and then if there's any silver linings or positivity in that.
Yeah, right. This the city's been it's been interesting. I don't really know when the last time you were out here, but we had the obvious. Most people know that around my zone know that like Google and all these things came in and basically jacked up the price. It's kind of a similar story to a lot of areas, but ours got hit hard because the whole tech industry blew up in our backyard, but it wasn't in San Francisco. It was in the peninsula, which is like the suburbs. But the dudes wanted to be cool and live in the big city while they worked in the suburbs. So they all fucking came into the city and jacked up, bought hella shit, did everything. Pretty soon, all these places that drew them in were like the places that they didn't want there anymore. Like, how come the club's playing music past 10 p.m.? I need sleep. It's like, dude, you moved next door to the fucking club. What are you doing? Right. So there was all this crazy shit. But then it's like, of course, like right when the pandemic hits, all these dudes are hightailing it out of here. Like a lot of them moved to Austin or different places, also realizing that they could work from home now. So they didn't need to pay the high rent or whatever in the city. So we got a big homeless problem here, is what I would say is like one of the bigger things that I noticed, because especially when the pandemic started, I was super shook. Like I wouldn't go outside and stuff. If we were staying inside, like everyone was like, it was lockdown, and we were just doing what we were told. Like, and there was no political agendas like everybody likes to put with these things. It was nothing to do with who I'm voting for. It was just out of safety.
Yeah,
And
nobody really knew what's up and what's down, so it's just to be safe, just like yeah, for sure.
yeah, so one of the things that I did after I kind of got my bearings was I would get up super early and just go on a walk before anybody woke up and like watch the sun come up. And it was really therapeutic and healing, like pretty sick to just be in the city by yourself. The streets are fucking pretty empty, and watch the sun come up, and you'd be like, and drink your coffee. And I'm a coffee guy. So like, as soon as there's a place to get coffee, I'm able to get out there because I'll just go, once I get that first sip, it's like the old bar days where you get that first shot and then it's on. Like, that's how I look at coffee, right?
Oh, Greg, there's a virus out there worldwide. He's like, I need fucking coffee, bro.
Yeah, I know. And we couldn't get it for a while, and I had to make it myself. And I was like, there's something weird. Like, I need someone else to make it. But the thing I noticed that was really sad, though, was just how many homeless people were. Like, you're walking around and just there's a lot of mental problems and there's a lot of drug addictions that come with it. And you're just seeing it right there. It's not hidden. There's needles, there's whatever it is that their fix is. The guy's still drunk from the night before. And so that was kind of hard, like to wake up to that too. So you start getting your routes and figuring out like, Tenderloin might not be the best morning walk, but You know, that's where we're at. The city's in a big change right now, and I'm hoping it's for the better. I think we did get a new mayor, and we'll see what happens. I think the homeless thing is obviously out there, and everyone's aware of it. It's just, what do you do? Like, do you come in and clean them up and just kick them out? Like, does that solve anything? Or do you do it in a humanitarian way and figure out like how we can get less people to be homeless? Like, if they're out of sight, out of mind isn't really what people in our area are feeling. So I
Yeah.
think they're trying to figure out like, what if we get low income housing? What if we offer jobs? What if we get the addicts help? What if we get the mental people help? And this whole thing evolves, and these people have a chance instead of just like, oh, just put them on the East Bay. Who cares? Or like
Yeah.
put them in fucking Modesto or whatever. You're just like, they're still the same problems just because they're out of your mind. So I think
Yeah.
there's been a lot of humanitarian ways to kind of keep the conversation maybe too long for some people because they're like, the homeless problem's not ending. It's not an obvious answer, I think, is the answer.
Yeah, there's like poverty, it's multi-faced problem issue. There's a lot of reasons why people are poor, and some of it's mental disease, and other sides of it is just there isn't enough, or like it's tough, man. There's a lot of things you have to face when it comes to poverty. Like you can't just give people a bunch of stuff and think that's going to solve it, like cuz they might need real serious counseling and therapy and stuff like that. So and then other time, and then there's even people that are homeless, and it's almost like their lifestyle, like they're enjoying it on some level. Not that there's a lot of it, but there's young people too that are just out there, like maybe having the time of their life, but slumming it and just like doing it. So it's like it's hard to lump it all into one thing and then think there's a one cure to for it all. But yeah, like
Yeah, I agree.
whenever I go into like a city, it's always kind of like that. Like you go into a big city like New York City or SF, and you kind of see it step up a little bit. You see some homeless people hanging out and stuff, but like with the pandemic, it just fucking made it so much gnarlier, man. It's insane, dude. It's a
Yeah.
it's a testament to that we live in one of the, like, we have the most material wealth in America, and we have a lot of homeless people, which is insane.
Well, that's what the obvious thing is, right? It's like, here's the most expensive place to live in the country. I think it at the time that I saw within the last year or so, it was higher than New York, which was unheard of. New York used to always be number one.
Yeah.
We were in the top five, but apparently we were number one once the Google whole blow up thing happened. So, how is it that the education isn't top notch, and how is the homeless issue such a problem? There's so much money here and so much influence. Why can't these people stop worrying about the next app for a minute and worry about the people that are laying on the streets? And that's one of the big, I think, things that people wrestle with. But money's so, what did Wu-Tang say? Cash rules everything around me. So it's like,
Cream, get the
like,
money.
yeah,
Dollar dollar bill,
if
y'alls.
you're not getting money out of it, it's like, maybe go back to the apps. But like, maybe go back to the apps after everybody's healthy, and then the apps will do even better. Like, I don't know. And
No,
people
that's
will
true.
respect you for doing your shit.
Yeah, man.
That's how I feel.
Unfortunately, like a lot of the people that are into that tech side of things, they're very insular and very like stuck on one thing, and it's almost antisocial, so they
Mm,
can tend to ignore a lot of stuff and just hyper focus on creating and developing apps apparently. But
yeah.
it's like we got to take care of the human condition first, like can't have any of this shit if we're just like rotting away as a society. Can't have too many losers pile up, like we got to help people get their feeding, like I mean, I've talked about my upbringing a lot, and it's like I thought we were poor, but not like we always had enough physical stuff. We had clothes, and there was always ways to get food. Like I could steal it if I really needed. It's not like we were in a third world, but the poverty that I grew up in was more like my parents were. My mom was having drug issues, and my father was in a gang, and just like the laws were kind of working against them, and not kind of they needed therapy, not prison. Like so there's a lot of systems set up to catch these people and keep them in this like trap of just making money off them. Even the healthcare system, like with my mom, it's like they turned her into like a cash cow, kind of like giving her medicines and drugs and like just like putting her into a system and not actually helping. So like there's a lot of that going on too, is our systems we've created like are locking people up unjustly, and they're over prescribing stuff, and it's breaking down family structures. And then when the family's gone, it's like you got kids raising kids, you know, and it's like a lot of that going on, you know. So we got to
Yeah.
find a way, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's the struggle every day. I mean, with all the good people in our life that have passed, I think that's what's opened my eyes more to like just, dude, appreciate the shit that you have right here with you, and like don't take it for granted, and also let them know that they're special to you, you know, like all that kind of stuff. I was telling somebody the cliches are cliche for a reason, because they actually have been around forever and they're still valid. It's not just like you can express yourself however you want, but the thing is, live every day like it's your last. Like however you want to say it, that's your shit. But like some of these cliches, they're important, and the older you get, like, and the less like worried about being cool and all that stuff, and the wisdom that you gain, you just really start going like, fucking hell, man. But yeah, I think that I'm hoping that this stuff, after we get to some type of normalcy with the pandemic being in our rearview mirror, that people are really going to come out in a new form of appreciative for one another's space, enjoyment time together, instead of looking at the clock, looking at each other, instead of looking at your phone, engaging. I'm hoping that like we're gonna have some positive changes along the way with all this stuff.
Yeah, man. I agree with you totally. The cliches are true. That's how they've standed the test of times, you know. There's some truths that are more true than true. They're like meta truths, because they're like when you tell a story, you can tell a crazy story about certain truths that are bigger than life, you know, and you can tell them through stories, and they seem like fiction and fake, but they're telling actual meta truths that are more real than real, you know. And the cliches are like that. They get carried forward into the future because they're useful and help us, you know. So like it's someone's truth and you carry it forward, you know. So I totally agree with that. And I also agree with you that I think we're going through dark times, and hopefully we come out of it like a butterfly, like out of the cocoon, like we just like learn from our mistakes. We have to step up, get better, like you were saying, appreciate our time, learn how to interact with people better, and value human life more, you know, like even if it's your own, you know. Like just take a second to be like, yeah, I gotta like take control of my own thoughts and feelings and use them before I lose them, you know. Like
100%.
yeah, man. So it's crazy because I think it all stems probably from the technology, man. I really believe that, because we haven't been able to see it like we can now. Everybody has cameras and audios, and we can express ourselves, right, wrong, whatever, you know. So we're seeing life from a whole novel angle, you know. Like we're like, oh shit, there's people that think like this, there's people out there that do that, there's like these problems, like it's all coming at us all the time. It's more than anyone can really handle. It's a lot. It's fucking a lot, man.
Yeah.
All right, so first I want to say I like that massage gun back there. That one works pretty good on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fucking game changer. You got one?
I do. I just got one, and it is a game changer. Got to be careful. Got to be careful.
Yeah, those are from the fine people at Apex Recovery, because Apex, with Apex you can know. They sent me one for a giveaway, and I was like, can I, you know? So they hooked me up, and I'm hyped. I never had one before, and yeah, that shit is sick.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's like you got joints. You're like, I don't think these joints are gonna work, and then you get the gun in there, and you're like, oh my
Yeah,
god, I'm a kid.
yeah, and like I got like arthritis and stuff, and like I'll do like the back and the shoulders, and it'll just like it breaks it up, I think, or something. It is helpful as fuck for recovering your muscles, though. I think is the most important. Like if you skate like really hard one day, and then you come home at night, Like a lot of people do ice baths and stuff, which was never my thing, but like I'll use this thing at night and I'll wake up and my legs will feel pretty good,
Beautiful.
which is nice, especially like at my age. Like it's a lot of times you're like taking a week off after one skate because you're like, dude, I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
But yeah, but no, everything's helpful. I love heat. I love ice packs that fit around your neck. I like the fucking heating pad that like has the thing and you're just like wearing it. It's like, let's make everything comfortable and let's make our pain go away. That's important.
Yeah, definitely. Westgate told me one time that he was using one of those guns and he overdid it because it was feeling so good. And then he said he woke up the next day and it was like he like overdid it to where he hurt himself a little bit. But
Oh, really? I
yeah,
was thinking I might have done that to my neck. I was like doing my neck, and then all of a sudden, like the next day, my neck started cracking and stuff. I was like, ooh, I wonder if that thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's either that or fall. So it's like either way, you're fucking.
yeah. I
Yeah.
I just got one and I was using it and it fucking I didn't realize how tight my calves actually were. Like I was like, holy shit, these things are rocks and you can't get in there with your hand. You get that gun on there and golden,
Right.
baby, golden.
No, it is. It is for sure a fucking game changer. People told me about it, and I was kind of like, whatever. And then I got it, and I was like, oops, yep.
Yeah, man. Okay, so just to jump around like my typical style, my ADD style is let's go way back in time. Take me back to when you were a kid, man, and we're getting into skating. And like maybe tell me a little bit about your childhood, how your parents felt about skating and like some of the like early formative years of skateboarding for you.
Yeah. So, my first skateboard was a plastic one, like most people of my generation. It was like one of those. I think it was I forget the name. It's like a Wind Rider or something, but it's insane. My mom still has it, and it carved in it is my name and the date, which was 1974 or something like that, 76 or I forget. I don't really remember, but she has the photo. I could send it to you. It's insane. Like, so that was the first board when I was a real little kid. And then later in life, well, my parents got divorced when I was young, like 5 or 6. So I kind of just grew up under my mom, and my dad was nearby, but my mom raised me and my brother. And then,
Were you sorry to interrupt, but were you
no,
able to see your dad?
yeah, I would see him. He worked in the same city that I lived, and he lived like 2 cities away. He was in the peninsula. So yeah, we would see each other all the holidays and do we didn't do like the regiment like some people do where it's like 1 week then the next week, or my mom took the brunt, but we definitely had a relationship, and a good one. We would hang out just it was kind of more like bros, like whenever he'd call us or we'd call him. There wasn't like a set schedule, in other words.
Yeah. That's good
But
though.
yeah, it worked out. And my mom needed us. Like she was, a single woman, divorced, heartbroken, and her kids became her everything. And like, so us being around, I think helped her a lot. And then I think it was fifth grade, which was, I don't know what year, but I met this guy that was really cool and different from the other people. And I felt like I was different from the other people. And we just started bonding like music, or I think we were playing Dungeons and Dragons maybe in the beginning. And I don't remember exactly the conversation, but one day, him, me, and 2 other neighborhood friends went to our skate shop, Go Skate in San Mateo, and we all bought a brand new skateboard. Like this was our first legit skateboard. Like we had
Nice.
skateboards, but these were like the ones with pros' names on them and whatnot, and sold from a skate shop.
Fuck
And they
yeah.
were all PAL boards. It was McGill, Lance, Cab, and I probably Tony Hawk is what I think the 4 were. And so the thinking was we're all gonna get PAL boards because PAL was the shit, like Bones Brigade, like that was like holy shit, like they were ahead of their, it was them and Santa Cruz, but PAL at that time for us was it. but we didn't want to get the same board, obviously. Just same as like, can't wear the same shirt as you, all those weird things when you're growing up.
They
So
matter. They matter a lot then.
yeah, we just started skating. We would climb the fences into the local schools and just push as fast as we could down the hall and do layback slides. I remember that. Like, there's photos of us like just sliding and getting up and keep rolling, and you're like, what the fuck? And that was the beginning to learning how to go down a hill, right? Like,
Yeah.
slide and then keep going. But like, this was in a real smooth hallway that you could like slide on your back if you fell off and it was no problem, but you're learning like the whole process. And up the street from this skate shop was this ditch called the Spillway. And it was just the gateway to everything. It was like, we got our boards, and I remember the guy, his name's Larry, because I ended up working there later with him. But he
Sick.
sold us the boards, and he's like, you guys go up 42nd, turn left down this thing, and behind the house, there's this big ditch. And we're like, fuck, we're little kids. Like, we don't know what the fuck, but we're down. So we go up there, and it's almost like a scene out of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, where everything just seems like it's in slow-mo, and you're looking at every character, like dude smoking and fucking throwing a beer can and coming down a hill and grinding a fucking ledge of the ditch. And you're like, whatever these guys are on, I need it. And it was like, I swear from that moment on, like we've been skaters. Like that was it. Like that was like, so many things that I'm sure listeners have the same vibe with, which was like not wanting to be that dude. I don't want to be that dude. Like Johnny fucking Rocket as the quarterback of the high school football team. Like I can't hang with these dudes. Like they're on some other weirdness that's like their deal, but it's not for me. I'm just not cool. And like, I want to fucking do this shit. And we started doing it, and we saw that it opened up like some stuff that was actually really cool, like punk rock music, which there's no way I fucking know about the Farm and these places in San Francisco where I see Dead Kennedys and fucking Black Flag and all these rad bands that like at that time were not, nobody knew about them. Like, it was very, very different. And, but those windows and those doors were open because of skateboarding, and then the friendships that we built and stuff. And like I said, eventually I worked at Go Skate. I think it was right after high school. When I graduated, I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to take like a year off and just not like school. I wasn't really a scholastic guy. I did all right, but I didn't drop out, but I was like on the verge of like barely graduating type. Like it was,
Yeah.
C- style, and like, oh, you need that one physics class to like, or you're not going to make the science requirement or whatever it was.
I had to take a typing class, and Westgate's dad was in there, and he was just like plucking away with one finger.
No way.
Just
you
to
were
graduate.
in a class with Westgate's dad?
Yeah, dude. He was in there, and he was just like caveman, like, and I was like really good at it because they're like, you need, like you were describing, you need a one class to pass high school or whatever. I was like, I'll do typing because dude, it's easy, and he's in there just like click click click, and I was like, I didn't know who he was at the time, but then I found out after. I was like, dude, that's Westgate's dad in there, caveman style.
That's amazing. Yeah, so I mean, I think from that moment on, like the entire life that I've led was the backbone with skateboarding. Like it was like, I'm hanging out with these dudes, we're going skating, and then we're gonna go see a show, or like, and it just became this thing where even socially, like you would go out at night with like maybe some old friends and be like, we don't have that much in common. Like it just kept leading back to like your skater bros, and like your isolation and shit that you kind of had was like actually what you were craving. You didn't want to be with all these people. And like a lot of it was anxiety, I think, now looking back, because I've suffered from anxiety a lot, but just having that space has always been key to me. And having like you and your board, and you could just bail, which a lot of people do, and people look at that as like, dude, so-and-so just freaked out and skated away. It's like, yeah, maybe he had to do what he had to do or whatever, but you're able to do that as opposed to be like, fourth inning, wait, he's not coming to the plate? What the fuck is going on? You know
Next up, young Schmitty. Crickets.
Pinch hitting. Westcade's dad.
It's so funny.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I agree with you though. Like, thank God there's that space in skating for you to be yourself. Whereas like a lot of other things people get into, it's kind of taken over by adults and coaches and organized and boxed up and productized and all that shit. And there's that side to skating too. But definitely when I was growing up, much like when you were growing up, there was that like it wasn't as big as it was, and it was like you could find it and you could make it your own thing, you know, which I really love about it. I guess you could still do that now, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, not to get too deep, but it's really been on my mind lately is like, so this is a trip, right? Like skateboarding became this super popular thing. Like it's going to the Olympics, it's in Zoomies, it's in the malls, it's in every commercial. Like the dudes that make apps have the dude with the skateboard. Like skateboarding is very important to today's culture, right? And I talk about it all the time. Like I went to Disneyland and me and my fiance are counting how many fucking Thrasher shirts we saw. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? There's like 100 Thrasher shirts at Disneyland. Like that's what skateboarding is, where it is right now. Good or bad, this is just a fact.
Yeah.
And my point being is like at the same time as this huge thing called cancel culture comes in, right? But it's interesting to me as someone that's observing it, and I'm not defending anything or arguing with anyone on any topic, but skateboarding's always been creativity and individualism. So let's never forget that. If we, you know, I was making a joke and I was like, dude, every step of the way is that much closer to AI. Everybody is like, they don't want artificial intelligence, but everybody wants to clone somebody and everyone's too scared to like jump out of their comfort shoes. And so what I worry about, because you didn't ask me, and I want to just say this.
Tell me, I love this. This is shit I love right here.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, we are skateboarders because why we skateboarded in the beginning, why we did this was to not be what this nucleus is trying to be. And so I understand evolving and I applaud it. I really want us all to be smarter. I want us all to like respect one another, right? Like I don't want like racism. I don't want sexism. I don't want any of that stuff. But I do want people to be able to be like how you and I are doing this interview right now. I want people to be able to talk and not be scared to say something because they're going to get fucked. And the more people get fucked, the more fear there's going to be and the less of this there's going to be. And pretty soon, like the whole looking into your phone, it's going to go away because there's going to be nothing to look at because people are afraid to give you the content you've been looking for. So just be careful on, you know, Ty Evans, fucking Jason Hernandez, John Miner. These guys are never names that you will see on message boards or in the comments talking shit on people that make videos. Yet, they're the ones that we want to hear from because they're the experts. We don't care about Timmy in Nebraska. I'm sorry. Like you in your basement, fuck off. And go do something like Nirvana, right? Yeah. Self-appointed judges judge more than they have sold. All these people are bitter and they want to fucking attack people that are trying to do something. And that people are going to see right through what I'm saying, that know what's going on out there in the world. And that's fine. But I just need to say it because I feel like there's a lot less people that are willing to say it now. And so that's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. Fucking nailed it, bro. And I agree. People got control issues, you know? It's like they want to control life and control other people's lives, and they want to tell us how to be safe and shit. And it's like, it's really insulting to me because like I have these ladies and some dudes out there that are out of shape and like 50 years old telling me to put a mask on and trying to assess risk for me. Meanwhile, I can like not just me, but most kids, amazing kids that put time and effort and their physical blood, sweat, and tears into practicing the principles of skating, they can assess risk and grind 16 stair rails. You know what I mean? And then these average ass, doughy ass people, and they're not all big. They're not all big. I don't want to be mean, but like a lot of people that don't use their body, you know what I mean? And they're just telling you to like, they're giving you the rules. It's like, calm the fuck down. It's like these kids are out here doing fucking amazing shit that you could never do, even adults, you know? And it's like, you're trying to police them and tell them how to be safe. And it's like, it's just a weird time with like, the structures we built are just kind of falling apart, or people are seeing the holes in the structures and then they want to tear the whole things down. And it's like, it's an intense time, you know? It's definitely the technology is like, it's like mirrors absolutely. In front of us. We see ourselves and then we like see ugly and we don't know how to deal with it. And then we want to attack other people because it's harder than dealing with our own bullshit. There's a lot of that going on. It's like people are projecting their own insecurities and their worries and they're trying to control everything because they don't want to deal with their own inner hell. And it's like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, you're going to have to deal with yourself sooner than later and stop trying to control the world and worry about everybody else. It's like, you're going to have to take care of your own yard, your own backyard. It's insane. It's fucking insane, man.
Yeah. I you know, Jake and I used to always talk about celebrity sucker punch, where you go up to the kid on the message boards and knock on the door and he answers and you just drill him.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Because it's just funny to me, like that, you know, not for nothing, but like a lot of people know who we are, and the people that don't know who we are can find out who we are. Like, you know, your name's behind what you do. Same with mine. And so it's obvious that like, if I say something, I have to stand behind it. But if you have this anonymous ability to just talk shit all the time, it's like when you were a kid, like that's like fucking putting a kid in a candy store, right? Like, it's like, dude, wait, I can go talk shit on fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and it might matter. I'll figure out something to say about him, right? And it's just like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. I think that I love I'm a tech guy. I love fucking, I'm not wanting to like go back in time. I actually like HD cameras. I like the way that we're able to use Zoom and do podcasts. I love like, let's get a new mic and hear that little extra crispy, like anything. I'm about all that stuff. But with good, there's always bad. And I think there's less people to regulate, you know, like the bad creeping in and the fear and all that stuff. So how do we get it to a place that people are a little more comfortable with, I think is the challenge for everyone in the upcoming years. Yeah,
definitely, man. Definitely. People are going to have to.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was going to say, I want to go to fucking Yankee Stadium and wear my Giants hat and talk shit about the Yankees, right? Without getting killed. But be scared as shit. Like, maybe I'm going to hide it, like, because dudes are going to fuck with me. Like, I like that energy that's like, right? Like, I don't want to fuck it, but you got to respect where you are. Like, you can't just show up in Yankee Stadium with the fucking Red Sox gear on, right? Like, you know, people are going to spit on you and stuff. And I'm from the old school where, like, that's because of respect. Like, you're on our shit. Like, just mind your manners and everything's cool. But you start fucking up, you're going to pay for it. And, you know, that makes sense. But to not fuck up and pay for it, you're just like, wait, what?
It's true, man. It's fucking crazy.
So, I don't know. We're just going off on a green tea tangent here, but.
No, but it's true, man. I feel like we're going to have to, each individual, all of us are going to have to learn how to incorporate the technology into our lives, you know? And that's like hard when people don't understand themselves that well, you know. You have to do a lot of reflecting because we have a lot of personal work we have to do on ourselves. Like some of the grievances people are complaining about, there's some real truth to some of it, but there's also just a lot of people power tripping and being controlling and overbearingly safe and trying to get everyone to be safe. And it's like, we're going to have to learn to balance it out. It's a balancing act. Because I agree with you that like this is a blessing and a miracle that we can do this and connect and like share. And it's like it's a new layer on life that we have the privilege to figure out how to use, you know? And it's like we have to talk about this shit, because if we don't, then those fucking people out there that are controlling and insane, that want to tell you how to live your life and what to do and what you can and can't say, they'll have control. And it's like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that can't talk because they have jobs that they'll lose because they can't even talk freely, you know, which is fucking insane, you know. I've done everything in my life to try to be have it so no one can cancel me, and it was before cancel culture. I was trying to do that because I just wanted to be able to make streams of revenue so that I could do the things I want to do and not have to worry about a boss or someone telling me how I can speak and what I can say and how my time's spent, you know. And that's not everyone can do that, and I couldn't always do that at times, and I work really hard at maintaining a life where it's like I can be free as much as I can. That way I can't just be canceled. And it's fucked up because there's always going to be new fucking idiots. I was an idiot. There's new idiots coming out of vaginas every day. They're just brand new novel idiots, new versions of idiots trying to figure it out. Like, that was me, dude. Like, I was on message boards fucking talking shit on dudes that killed it and put their whole life into it. But I was the little young Eminem type character. Like, fuck this dude just because I'm exercising and figuring out who I am and what to say and what I believe. And a lot of that is making huge mistakes and having to eat crow later and be like, damn, I was a fucking idiot, you know? And it's like, you can't avoid that. You got to have to kind of face those mirrors and just like work through it. But we can't cancel people because there's going to be new people coming all the time and they need the space to make mistakes and develop. And we can't, as a society, we can't just like fucking call them all Nazis and racist and fucking, we can't just deem everyone hateful and bigots because they just don't understand what's going on. There's always going to be new people, you know? Like, it's insane. It's fucking insane. That's all.
Well, I know it's your show, but can I ask you one question?
Get into it, my friend.
What do you think about the industry's responsibility with all this? I think personally,
skateboarding and industry?
Yeah, like let's just take skateboarding because we're skateboarders, right?
Yep.
But for me, let's say, you know, I used PAL earlier because they were, when I was a kid, the biggest thing. So at that time, when I grew up, we were like, whatever PAL's doing, like whatever Tommy Guerrero's doing, that was my dude, right? He was like San Francisco street skater on the forefront of everything, styled. Everything was, it was just Tommy could do no wrong.
Legend.
So we were buying into their shit, right? But now the industry and I don't know, but to me, it feels like the industry is a little scared to be the forefront, to say like, we're standing behind our guns. Like, you don't like it, peace out. Like, they want to please everybody in a way that they're watering things down a little bit so that they can bring in those extra, you know, Tommy, Joe, and Bill, and fucking Tina, and Michael, and anybody else out there. And you're like, huh, okay, this is looking a little different in this gymnasium that we just built for our skate rink. What's going on here, guys? So I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like it's part of our industry's responsibility to be like, you know what? I'm backing this. And that's it. Like, not like, I back it, but I can't publicly back it. Sorry. You know, like, wait, I've known this dude for 30 years. He's the raddest fucking dude ever. And he made a mistake. And now, like, he's not on Converse anymore. And you're like, huh, wait a minute. This is weird. Cause like everybody that skate with them knows he's the best. And then you're like, wait a minute, is he off chocolate too? Like, wait, like, and you're like, huh. And you're just like, what's going on to these dudes that are like, I don't know, like they're like, fuck, dude.
No, you're right.
You're right. There's in the world, and we all know that.
Yeah.
And like, this is all they've ever given to life is skateboarding, and you're gonna come and take it away from them? Like, fuck that. That's you know, like if you pull a fucking really fucked up thing, you got to pay for it. But like, I don't know, it's a slippery slope.
Agreed. There's a lot of people that need to speak up and like not let the hysteria get out of control. There's like a lot of that shit going on, and there's definitely people that I know that we have this new power where we can call people out and bring shit up from the past and all that stuff, and you can get your revenge and all that stuff. But at the end, it's like, these people are still humans and they're going to have to pay for their mistakes with or without you. And they still need to make a living, and they probably have families. And it's like, do you really want to revel in just tearing everyone down just so you can feel righteous and feel like you're making the world better? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like, a lot of the shit I see going on is not making the world better. It's just causing more misery. And then you're virtue signaling like you're the fucking man because you called someone a racist or whatever. And it's like, so fucking what? Like, that person still has to eat and live. And like I don't condone that shit, but I'm also not going to start a fucking movement against every person that I disagree with on how they live their life and their thoughts. Like, it's a weird time, man.
It's crazy. Like a good friend of mine, she was saying the other day, she was like, it's crazy how like the Johnson and Johnson vaccine came out and 6 people died out of like millions of people. 6 people died, which is, it's a thing, right? But the country went apeshit and they closed it down and they fucking were like, hold on, right? And she's like, that many people are getting shot every day, but they're not worried about guns. And so like these mentalities are kind of interesting where it's like, that is weird. Like why there's so much emphasis on like some things and other things get like, it is what it is, you know? And then who's deciding all that, right? So those are topics for maybe us older guys to dwell on, and the kids are like, just talk about SHETLER, fuck.
My demographic is like 25 to 35, so we're fine, bro.
Oh, we're good. Do you ever get mixed up with Ryan SHETLER? Do people think you're Ryan?
Yeah. Well, like people that don't really know much about skateboarding, they hear my name, they're like, are you related or do you know SHETLER or whatever? I'm like, it's SHETLER, first of all, and I've met him and he seems cool, but I get Nicolas Cage more than anything.
Oh, really?
Like 40-year-old women at the grocery store are always like, you know who you look like? And I'm like, yes, I do.
Sick.
And they're
That's
always
not bad.
No, they're stoked. And I'm like, if I was single,
yeah, I'd sign your right boob.
We'd be on the produce, on top of the produce. Just, I'd be giving you the bunny in the box type shit, you know?
Yeah. Well, what's good? What's good?
Okay, so
Talk
let's
about
go back.
some good shit.
Let's go back to skating because how was working at the shop when you were younger?
Dude, it was. I mean, fuck. Every perspective I have is kind of like that same perspective that I was just speaking on. But when I was there, it was just so different. You know, like I was late '80s, early '90s, so I'm aging myself, but. We were assholes, you know, you came into the shop and we told you what you're going to buy and what you can't buy. And like, nope, you're not getting tracker trucks. I don't even know why we have them. Fuck you. You're not going to buy these. Right. And I was talking to my friend Mike at Lottie's and I was like, dude, how do you do it, man? Like when kids like kooks come into the shop, do you just are like, hey, kooks are cool. Like, or do you like somehow educate them in a politically correct way? Like, how does it work? But yeah, I mean, we were smoking weed, drinking beers, and like Rochambeau behind the counter who had to go help the guy because we were all partying in the back. Like, it was fast times at Ridgemont High. There was a quarter pipe and a lot of smoke, let's put it that way. I had a Volkswagen bus that popped the top. Like, we were living that life. And yeah, but it was sick. I mean, I'm so bummed that it's kind of like, you know, the old adage where my grandparents threw away my baseball cards. Well, I kind of have that with my skate shop sticker collection. I had this insane sticker collection, and the pandemic actually kicked me into 4th gear, and I've been like starting to collect stickers again.
Yes.
And it's just really hurt my heart on the ones that I don't have anymore. But we had, you know, everything coming through. You're just hands on, like, oh my God, like the Nodis board when it came in with his face on it. It was so, I think it was like a limited run or something. And it was just like, put this back there. I'll pay for it Friday when I get paid. Like, you know, shit like that, where you're just like, and the stickers, the different color ones, and like, I don't know, all that shit, the Garbage Pail Kids and everything with the blind and everything. It was just really cool. And it really like, educated me a lot to work with other people that were passionate about this thing and learned so much. I mean, skate shops to me are super important. I feel like everyone should support them so that we keep them around. Like 100%, if we lose skate shops, we're going to lose a big piece of skateboarding. You can't do what skate shops do online. There's no way. It's 100% impossible.
Agreed.
So let's keep the brick and mortar. Let's keep your professors and the dudes that are struggling in life to make sure you have a place to hang out and watch the newest videos and actually feel that concave or the flip tail or whatever it is. Let's make sure you're going in there and buying a shirt from them, buying your next board there, whatever it is. Support your dudes because they're going to fucking help you too. And it's all like, it's just so important. But yeah, that was what I learned from working at the skate shop, was I love to go, if I'm on a trip, what shop's here? If I'm in Chicago, I'll go to Uprise and just like check in and be like, what up? I don't even know those dudes that well, but I'll come in and be just like, hey man, I just want to check out your shop. Like what boards are moving good here? Like, it's always fun to be like, man, FA is huge in Redwood City, but not in Philly for some reason or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So all that stuff's cool for me. I'm a geek about it. Like I love nerding out like to like skateboard statistics, It's like I grew up a baseball fan, so I have that statistic mind where it's like home runs, batting average, ERA, and all that historical reference, which is super deep for me. And I brought it into skateboarding, and I'm like, dude, never forget Tommy Guerrero, ever.
I kind of like that. Like, I'm kind of the same way. I liked sports for the stats and for all the, so I can memorize who the players were and what they've been through and stuff. And I'm kind of like that with skating as well. And that's the one reason why I'm kind of excited for the Olympics, is so I can see the jock skaters that are super into it to like see their stats, just so it's funny. Because I always like making fun of basketball players and baseball players because it's funny to have stats and be able to like talk shit on them when they're not doing good. And I'm kind of excited for that, for skateboarders to have that version of it. I would never want to skate in that type of thing. That's like a nightmare to me. I wouldn't want to be in the Olympics or even competitions at this point. Right. Or even when I was younger, it just wasn't built for that shit. But those that are, there's going to be a whole sports league of skateboarders. There already are. I mean, Street League is basically a sports league, So
yeah.
But the stats side, you're going to have all the stats. It's going to be fun, dude. That's going to be hilarious.
Well, it's gonna be really interesting. I still have a really tough time, just with the whole judging thing. We've always talked about how, like, if you have a downhill race, the first person at the bottom wins. It's clear. But if you have Raven Terche do a Smith grind and then you have Nyjah do a Smith grind, who did it better? Like,
yeah,
isn't it subjective? Like, you might be a Nyjah dude and I might be a Raven dude, or vice versa, or whatever. And
Depends
you're like,
on their sponsor too. They might have the sponsor that is like,
and then who's judging? Are they related to the Monster guys or like whatever? Like, it's like there's so much shit that sadly, when I started working at Thrasher, people were always, I remember so much. They're like, you don't want to know behind, like, it's gonna ruin. You're gonna know so much stuff, and a lot of that's true. Like, some of the stuff that you think about takes away from, like, I talk to friends about it that are just skate friends, and they're like, whoa, dude. Like, yeah. I'm not thinking on those levels at all. And so you just, I don't know, you kind of compartmentalize all of it. But the Olympics I'm rooting for a train crash that like just is like, holy shit. We thought the pandemic was gnarly. Dude, Yuto tried to fucking 540 the street course into the, I don't know. And then it's like, the wrong dude, like Shaun White enters and wins somehow, and everyone's pissed because the snowboard judge beat up the skateboard judge and got, like, there's got to be some drama, dude. Fuck.
All right. Not to go down the Olympic rabbit hole, because that one's easy to get pulled down.
Yeah.
Back to, I want to kind of follow the money. Like, working in a shop, where'd you go for jobs after that to survive? Like, how old were you when you were working at the shop? And take me from there.
Yeah, it was right out of high school. Graduated high school and went straight to there. And then I went to 2 years of junior college, community college, for photography, and just like not to get my degree. I was just like, I guess I got to go to school. I'll pick classes I like. So I was like studying film and studying photography, and I would take like one astronomy class. And then the next semester I would do similar, like my artistic desires, and then like take an English class. So I was like, I spent 2 years in there, and I'm like, did I get anywhere towards the end goal of like a AA or a BA or any of that? And I kind of did, but I just didn't care. And at the same time, I started waiting tables at an Italian restaurant, and that was gold because I could work nights and skate all day. So I was going out shooting photos. I had a camera with me my whole life. I don't really remember why. I think my grandparents encouraged it because they traveled a lot, and they always had slides and showed slideshows of their trips.
Oh,
And I
that's
think,
so sick.
yeah, so I think that kind of hyped me out. And my dad got me a 8 millimeter camera, so I was doing little film things and not knowing anything where that was going to lead at the time. This is in the 80s. And then working at the skate shop, I met this dude, Oscar Polchowski, that was like sponsored by SMA. So he was like in touch with Nodis, and he was friends with Bryce Kanites. And one of the other guys, his name was Mike Alcantar. He had this venture ad going over a couch with Mickey Ray's sitting on the couch, and it said, "Don't be a couch potato." He's doing a frontside wall ride. So,
Yes, I haven't heard Mickey's name in a while. Thank you.
yeah, Mickey's the shit. So we went up to the school in San Francisco. Somehow we were up there and we saw Bryce. I think it was at this Golden Gate Park contest. I'm kind of all over the place too,
That's fine.
ADD.
Yeah.
But this is kind of what sparked it for me. Bryce had been in touch with us a little bit. Somehow we like kind of like he knew who we were type thing. Like, oh, what's up? It's the dudes from the peninsula, because he was the city. We were down in the suburbs. And we went up and we're like, hey, and he's like, oh, so this guy, Mike Alcantar, he got sponsored by Venture. So he was kind of like, this guy's worth taking photos of. If you guys want to meet at the school, we're going to meet over there with Julian Stranger later.
What?
And we're like, okay. So we go to the school, and it was the day Julian did the front board on the handrail, the first front board ever on a handrail.
What?
I actually am behind Bryce with my camera, and I took a photo of it, like full, like faux pas, like sniper style, like such a kook maneuver, but like not knowing any better. And at the time, it wasn't like a phone, it was a real camera. So I think it was a little more accepted. Like to this day, Bryce is like, nah, dude, that was cool. Like we become really good friends. But so in the front of that school, Julian does the front board down the handrail, and in the back of the school was the couch with the wall ride. So this is like a huge day. And we meet Tobin Yelland that day. And Tobin's like kind of, I don't know if this is fair to Tobin, but in my vision, it seemed like he was Bryce's apprentice, like he was learning the ways and Bryce was showing him the ways, right? And so Tobin was kind of just as stoked as us in some ways to be there, I think, like getting his feet wet, right? And the week after that was a contest up in Tahoe, and I was like, I'm down, let's go. I got a VW bus. So I had Bryce, Arco, Tobin, and maybe one other, maybe Jeff White, I forget who it was, one other guy, and me and Mike Alcantar. And we drove up to Tahoe, and it was like Ray Barbie's first contest. Like it was like, what the fuck? This is insane. Like it was an amateur contest, but it was like you could tell these guys were fucking next level.
Yeah.
And Cardiel, board slide in the car and stuff.
Yeah.
And wall rides were just kind of happening. So there was like the bank to wall, and like that was like the new cool thing. Anyway, that was a huge bonding experience. Like, so me and Tobin are still friends. Me and Bryce are still friends. And from there, it was just like really crazy. Like things were going so fast. Like I met Phil Shao in Redwood City, which was the city that I was born in, and he was like arguably one of the better skateboarders of all time. Like he could do it all and he had great style, and he was our local dude. So it was like I was just going everywhere with him and trying to learn how to film and trying to figure out where I wanted to fit in. Did I want to be a photographer or did I want to be a filmer? Because in 1992, my uncle gave me his camera. He had like an 8mm camera. So I was using it and I was like, whoa, this is pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then I came back and got a camera after that. And then I was trying to do both for a while.
You were set that you were going to be media though, huh?
I was definitely not that good. You know what I mean? Like it was like I gotta sit down and watch these dudes rip because nobody's coming to watch me rip. You know,
Phil Shaw's your local dude. You're
yeah,
in trouble.
like
You're in trouble.
And
bro.
Alcantara was like seriously, people don't know, but Alcantara was like super. If he kept with it, he was ahead of his time, and he had the style of like his brother was like a really good surfer, so he just had that like he would have been perfect for Dogtown. Like he was that guy. But so I had these dudes in my life that I was like, yeah, I always think it's good to surround yourself with people that are better than you rather than worse than you. You never want to be the best dude in your circle because then you don't grow as much. And if you have people pushing you all the time, you're gonna have to learn faster. Like your first time going to the ski resort, they take you to the diamond and you're like, just make it to the bottom. You're like, what the fuck? Well, it was kind of actually tough love. Now you're way better than if you spent 10 weeks working your way up to that. Now you got one day in and you're actually hanging out with us now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like speeding up the educational part was always important. And then, dude, San Mateo was just so, I mean, it's funny because, you know, you have, much like I'm sure where you're from, like the big city dudes, like, we're from Boston, not Lowell. We're Boston or whatever it is. And you're like, okay, but like, are you that much cooler because you were born in the city that like, you know, whatever. But like, that's how out here it's like that a lot. Like, if you're like from SF, born and raised, don't say you're from SF if you ain't. Like, if you moved here, don't say you're from here. You know,
yeah.
Like there's that stigma, and
Boston has that. When I was younger, there was a lot of that. Like the city dudes had their cliques and their vibe, and like a lot of them weren't from Boston, but they claimed Boston, and they would talk shit on everyone else coming in. Like for sure, that exists, dude.
Hey, here's a fun fact too, because I'm all over the map. Robbie Ganjemi was my first video clip I ever filmed that made it into a video.
What? Wow.
Yeah. So East Coast, that dog.
Robbie's killing it right now, man. I don't know if you've seen him online, but he's crushing it right now. Yeah. He's making skateboards, dude, in Boston, just crushing it right now.
Oh, like kind of like, do you see what Jehobo's doing?
I haven't checked in on Jehobo, but he's doing that too.
Yeah, he's making like skateboards out of like a bunch of wood and putting it together and making shapes and stuff. And then he has like a Jehobo brand that like. His shit's. I'm not putting anyone else down or by comparing. I hope. I'm just saying both dudes are rad dudes in my life, and they're probably both doing epic shit.
Yeah, I remember Jehobo had Freedom. Freedom was sick, dude.
Yeah,
like the head and the ass shirt, like so sick, dude.
Yeah, ass fuck and all that shit.
That's just
so yeah, I mean we're bouncing all over the place, but Jehobo ended up becoming one of my better friends when Phil died. I was working for Think and they were all skating for Think, and it hit us like a ton of bricks. I was the first dude in my life that died that impacted me. Like, whoa, this guy died way too early. This was my homie. This was not supposed to happen vibe. So that hit us all in this weird way that bonded us, you know, like if we had nothing to say, we could always talk about like, what would Phil do here? Like whatever, like, you know what I mean?
Think was being a small kid on the East Coast. Think was a huge and made a huge impression on me, especially. So you got your guys' work made a huge impression being a little skate rat and just getting stoked on all the stuff you guys were doing. It was fucking sick. Like Think was my favorite company for a long time, and it was Jerhobel and all you guys doing that stuff. And
Yeah. I mean, Wade Spire, Jesse Paez, Phil Shao, Dan Jerhobel, Tim Mckenney, and the list goes on. But like, it was insane. Like we laughed because we're like, dude, you could just go to any demo and blow it out with that crew. They had the all-terrain vehicles that they're not only going to skate this part or that part, they're going to skate it all and destroy it. And it was really eye-opening. And just a lot of stuff happens that you're pretty lucky to be in the right place at the right time, right? Like later on, that opened me up to Diego Buccieri, and then me and him had a great relationship. He lived at my house when he first moved out here, and we would go to Arizona on trips and with his friends that would come from Argentina and not be able to speak much English and just have the best time ever. And I was like learning about cultural awareness and like having a blast because of skateboarding. Like, you know, it's really, I mean, where do you start and where do you stop with all these conversations? I don't know. I don't even know what your question was.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter.
So all that stuff happened. And all along, I would say, to kind of tie it up, is that being born in Northern California and living here my whole life, it was obvious to me that Thrasher was the thing that was what I needed to respect. And that was my formula, you know. Seeing Bryce and Mofo and reading their articles and realizing like Mofo had this kind of like Hunter S. Thompson vibe to him where everything was just like, and then we got a 6-pack and fucking Tony Alva showed up, and it was just so dark and gritty and rad. And you were like, I don't care about your fucking Airwalk shorts. I really don't. I want Mofo's article, right? It was like, it was always like you wanted the alley, not the paved street. And that shit just drew me to Jake Phelps eventually, who had a lot of respect for Phil, who was trying to raise Phil as the next editor. He wanted Phil to replace Jake when Jake retired, basically.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And so when Phil died, we all had a huddle because Think was right across the street from Thrasher. It was like right on the same block. And we were all out in front, and Jake was like, you're coming to work for the mag now. And I was like, oh shit. I didn't know Jake super well. And we all know he's intimidating and like, you don't know what side of the bed he got out of, and there's just so much precautionary things that go into it.
And he definitely always looked like he just got out of bed.
Sure. Yeah. And so I had to think about it, but I didn't have a lot of time, you know? And I think what I kept saying to myself is like, what else in life is there for you? Like, this is like a baseball kid getting asked to play for the Giants. Like, Thrasher? What? Like, that's it.
Rookie of the fucking year right here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I dove in, dude. Rookie of the year. High school graduate, not so much. I'm going to Jeremy Rogers. What the fuck? Mass, dude. But
Massachusetts has some crazy skateboarders. Like, we have such a diverse group of skateboarders.
Can I give a shout out to PJ Ladd? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
What other video? PJ's Wonderful Life. Has anything impacted the world like that video?
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I don't know. I tripped on that the other day. I was like, and PJ's so elusive, like, since then, and like whatever he's doing is probably cool, but like he definitely is like to himself a little bit, and like, holy shit. Dude, you were talking about the respect for Think from our coast. That video was fucking insane. We watch it all the time, and we're just like, this is, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was just so like it was the lineup of people in the video, and then it was like the innocence, like fun, and like the music selection. It was just like perfectly timed. And then PJ, obviously, like the allure of his skating and kind of the mystery of him tied in with all these other dudes and Alexis and. Yeah, it was definitely, it hit everywhere like that for sure. Back to Phelps though.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far from there.
Okay.
So Phelps is like, you're working for the fucking mag, bro.
Yeah. And so then I worked as, I was me and him for 20 plus years at the
Insane.
mag, at the plant. When he wasn't on a trip or I wasn't on a trip, we were at the plant. And I ain't gonna lie, like there was a lot of hardship. There was a lot of times where like, your fucking office is downstairs, get out of here vibe. But that dude taught me a lot, and he also showed me a lot where my respect for him became really obvious, and it was like, oh, I get it. Because for a while I was like, why does Phil like this dude? He's such a dick. Like, what is it about him? Like,
If you don't know Jake Phelps, and you meet him, same thing. I caught the same vibe. When you don't know him at all, and you're like, meet this dude. He's very in your face, very unforgiving, for sure.
Yeah. But you guys might understand this because he's from your neck of the woods, and he like the East Coast mentality on the West Coast. I think I don't know, but like it seems to me like it would be more kind of shocking for the West Coast, because East Coast, there's probably a handful of dudes like that in every shopping market that are just like kind of like, it is how it is, fucker. Like, fuck off, like there's this shit. So, but I just tripped on it because I was like, whoa, this dude out of his element is the same dude. No matter where he was not pulling any punches. It wasn't like I'm comfortable in my throne. It was like, I'm in LA in your backyard and fuck Transworld. Like, right to you. Like, I don't care. Like, fuck off. Like, and it was like, whether it was right or wrong, it was like, you knew he wasn't like two-faced. He wasn't different for different crowds or whatever it is. And his experiences were legendary. Like, how many fucking times that dude should have died before he died was, I think, a little softening on the blow when he did die. Because it was like, well, dude, the dude flipped a car in Australia going like 150 miles an hour in the middle of Australia, like where there was nothing. Like, I don't even know how people found him. Like, there wasn't a city there. There was nothing. And him, Buzenitz, and Monk flipped a car, and they were like, how did they not die? And they were all dressed as monks. Like, come on, dude. Like, you can't even write that movie. And it happened to his life, like, time after time.
There's some people like that just keep going. You're like, how do they keep managing to escape death? And they just like pull it off. And I'm always amazed by it. And he's one of them for sure. Holy shit.
Like when I first got to meet him, I thought he was just a big liar. I was like, there's no way all this shit is happening that he's talking about. And then shortly, I was like, oh, all that shit you thought was a lie, that shit's real. Yeah. And this dude almost died, and this and this and then, and he was there, and Danny Way did invite him to the Great Wall, and like all that shit where you're just like, whoa, dude, this guy is living. And he was a good skateboarder. He was really good. Like, people don't realize that because people see the older Jake when he was like barely able to walk, he was like 60 or 63 or something. But there's footage of him when he was younger, just killing shit. Like, and he would roll in on any vert ramp or vert park or anything, like anywhere he went, like that was the first thing he did. I'm not skating here till I roll in. And there was like kind of this respect like thing. I don't know. I just can't say enough about how he influenced me. I don't feel like I'm like cut from the same cloth as him at all, but yet our shit was like intertwined in a way that he had respect for me, and I obviously had respect for him. So, and also I'm the type of dude that can deal with shit a little bit more maybe than others. So like him offending me, I was still working at Thrasher, so I'm coming back tomorrow. Whereas like some dude that had an ego might have quit, and I've seen that happen too, where it's like, oh, you quit, and then now where are you? And you're bummed because you don't work there anymore. And so all that shit, like experiences are what pay, that's what molds us all, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you don't seem like you would fly off the handle. I feel like you're kind of even tempered. Yeah, Jake always like just from an outside perspective. I mean, I've met him a handful of times, ran into him, and he knew who I was, which was like an honor to me, because I'm like, how the fuck does he know about this pasty white kid from Massachusetts? But he just knew like everybody. And but he always like was perplexing to me because I always was like, this dude's unforgivingly himself and in your face and whatever and over the top. And I always knew that lifestyle and the way he was is just like, it's just kind of reckless, you know, like you could just see a little bit of recklessness and disregard. And it's like, it was probably me being selfish because I like I wanted him to take care of himself and be Grandpa Phelps, you know, like stick around and be Grandpa Phelps, you know, but like he was himself, like that's his life. He took control. He decided what he wanted. He was very authentic, man. So, but yeah, people like that always perplex me because I love the fact that they're like that, but I also am like, fuck, man, like they're going to go way quicker than you expect, you know, or you wish, you know, wish they stick around, you know?
Yeah.
But that's probably selfishness. I'm not going to lie. Cause I'd rather just let me be me, you know, than just try to like get me to calm down all the time, you know? Damn, 20 years. That's insane, man. That's a wild ride.
I don't remember what year it was, but when you guys had the video premiere out in SF, I filmed you doing a lip slide down a handrail at the I think it's like AT&T back then. It's a way different building now, but there was a handrail there, and we went and skated with RB, you, Zared, and what was that other guy's name from Jersey?
Oh, was it Ron Diley?
Yeah.
Ron rips. Yeah.
So I got this footage of me, Preston, you, Zared, and Eli Reed.
Yes.
And we were in the car going there, and we're all fucking giving each other shit. And then Eli's in the front, and he does the full Eli turn around and says something. Everyone starts heckling him. It's great, though. Yeah, fucking good times.
Yeah, man. Okay, so what I was kind of getting at before with the like follow the money thing was like, it's amazing that you were able to find something like skateboarding and shooting photos and photography and filming and stuff like that, and you were able to like hang on to it and get the opportunities and like kind of escape the normal, not that you didn't put in work, obviously it's work, you know, anything you do and put your heart into is work, but you escape that like normal grind and like be like Thrasher's not like a 9 to 5 where you have to go in and wear a certain suit and tie, you know, like did you ever have any pressure to just like, was there anyone around you to being like, dude, you should get this job and get health insurance and get whatever, you know, like try to direct you into like some other lifestyle?
Well,
save you?
It all like accidentally worked really well. It was like like I said, I was waiting tables at this restaurant, and I did a good job, and I became the assistant manager, and then eventually I was the manager. So like I'm writing the schedule, right? So I'm scheduling myself, you know, and so and so wants to go on a trip. I'm gonna take I was in control as much as I could be of my whole like skating and working, and being the manager. I was still waiting tables, so I could still make money each day, right? Like I'd bring home $100 from waiting tables, and then I'd get a weekly check too. So I was doing pretty good, and also able to like, you know, like I said, go on a trip or go skating if somebody wanted to get some footage. And so I was really learning how to film a lot in those days, and feeling comfortable because rent wasn't that expensive. I think we were paying like $300 for a room at the place where I lived. So it was really manageable. And then the restaurant went out of business.
Damn.
So I was on unemployment for a year.
Wow.
That was the year I met Diego. And I lived at my mom's. I moved into my mom's for a transition because we lived at this house with a ramp in the backyard and no neighbors. It was me and 3 dudes, and a lot of drugs got involved. And basically I kind of had to cut out of there because dudes had the blinds closed and said that the van across the street was spying on us all day and like bringing video cameras to Safeway and filming people and shit. And I was like, I got a normal job, dude. I'm trying to like be out there in the daylight, dude. I don't know. Like these dudes would go to Spun Days on Thursday and come home Tuesday and hadn't slept the whole time. I'm just like, but we had a ramp in our backyard, and like we could play instruments 24 hours. Like it was super sick. And so when I moved back home, because the restaurant and that all kind of happened at the same time, and that was right when Phil died too. And Diego was staying with Phil and Paul Zawanich at the time. And when they came back, he's like, dude, I can't stay there anymore. Like, it's just breaking my heart. Like, I can't be where Phil used to live. I was like, dude, just stay with us for a while. So I don't remember if it was probably a few months. It might have been even more than that, but less than a year probably, where he was staying at my place, and we'd go on think trips and whatnot. And I'm collecting unemployment. So it was just like, I'm not working, but I'm getting paid. And
you're free, dude. You're free at that point.
yeah, and Think started paying me under the table.
Nice.
So it was like, yeah, like Greg and Keith, so much love and respect. Like they opened up that door for me, started doing Think, and then Fausto and Jake opened up the door for Thrasher. And I was so fortunate to like, everyone talks about Fausto Vitello. Well, I actually knew him. I was at his house. I watched his kids grow up to be who they are today. And like I know these people. I spent time with them. Fausto's yelled at me. He said no raise and came to work the next day in a fucking brand new car. And I'm like, what? No raise, but you got a new fucking Porsche? What the fuck? Like, but that was it. I was like, yeah, this is my shit. Like you need to deserve your shit or whatever. And it was just amazing, dude. Like the times like that we got to experience in that era, I feel like it was just so different. There was no camera phones, right? And there was none of the social media. So what I would say is like, it wasn't as documented, but it wasn't, there was so much less concern about documenting it, and more like, dude, your job is to document this. So we know you're going to document it. My job's not to document it. So I don't need to document it. And that's what like these dudes don't realize when they go on trips. Like, you're not supposed to worry so much about documenting everything. We got a filmer and a photographer. You need to fucking kick ass.
Yeah,
And
like live wild, live your life.
Yeah, like tell me some jokes, take your earbuds out, fucking talk to me about some new techniques that you learned cooking turkey, whatever fucking you got, dude. I don't know. But don't just be that dude in the back going like this and then like this and then like this. Like,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There was just so many characters. I mean, Mckenney a little bit. He's one of the all-time characters. He's he grew up in San Mateo, and I've known him forever. And we had like a family, I think a lot like Five Borough or Zoo York, like just like, this wasn't just a skate team. These were dudes from the same area, the same cloth and stuff. And yeah, we're just really lucky. Paul Zawanich opened up a lot for me. He was the one that called me and said, Fausto's looking for a guy to edit the video. Can you do it? And I was like, fuck no, but I'll try. And Paul, me, and Satva edited Thrasher video number 9, which was called Raw, because it was fucking raw. We had to do it in my attic and like on a computer that had no memory. And it was just, Satva broke into fucking hives because he was so stressed dealing with me and Zawanich, not knowing what we're doing. But those are just the times that like you're learning all this stuff. And I don't know, that's pretty much the path, I guess.
I got a question. Because you were around in all like the formative years of, say, like Think and Thrasher and San Francisco skateboarding with the brand side of things. Was there ever a point where you're like, in the beginning, was it just like seemed like it's just people are trying to figure it out? Did it ever turn into like, it feel like became professional where like the brands, you're like, whoa, like did you see people like get better at their jobs and figure out how to do it? And like,
I think like Thunder and Spitfire and Deluxe, like, no disrespect to them. those are some of the hardest workers in skateboarding, Jim Thiebaud and those guys, nothing but love and respect. But I saw it early on when like Sharugi was there and they were in like a small little spot. And he actually gave Phil and I a bunch of wheels and some trucks to sell for gas money to make it to Atlanta for the finals. And me and Phil drove back there for that was an incredible one too. But what I'm trying to say is like at that time they were trying to figure it out. Like I don't even think they knew the direction which was where Real was going to go, and Anti-Hero wasn't even born yet, and Crooked obviously wasn't born yet, and Raza Libre wasn't even born yet. So like watching them and like try Ron Allen for a little bit and that didn't work, and then Raza Libre didn't work, and then these different things, and like Anti-Hero best ads in the mag, you know, and like Crooked, like wow, this, and the things were working. So in some respects like that, yeah. Watching Thrasher change its paper, you know, talk to Rob Welsh about the Thrasher paper that we used to have where the ink would come off in your hands as you turned the pages. And, you know, we finally got to like paper where photographers were like proud to have their photos in the mag, and Atiba could come over and work for us now or whatever. But like, you know, those things I think evolved in front of my eyes for sure. But the mentality has kind of never changed. I mean, if you ask anyone that knew Fausto, they would tell you he thought he could do no wrong. He was very confident that he saw what he was going to do and he was going to do it and it was going to work. And the things that he touched usually turned to gold. And so that mentality and that confidence goes a long way. You know, you step in the elevator and you're the dude, people kind of look at you with a different look, right? And I've seen that like at the trade shows with Fausto and different people, and just being stoked that like this is my dude, like these are my dudes, like I got respect for him, and watching everybody else's respect for him, I knew I was in the right place. You know, when a dude like Figgy is telling you that the mag is his shit, you're like, I think I'm at the right place. You know, you just you attract the right crew over and over, and you're like, we're doing it, this is it, you know. So it was cool like to see that evolve, I think more so, you know. Jake was a huge proponent about like, we were here before you and we'll be here after you, you know. You're the hot thing this week, but you weren't here last week and you ain't gonna be here next week.
Ooh, I like that. That helps.
Yeah, that was a real big one for Jake. You know, like the barracks and shit like that, like the whatever Wednesday with Reddit. Where'd that go? That was like one of the biggest things in skateboarding for a while. And I love Reddit. I ain't talking shit, but I'm just saying that like these trends happen, right? That guy that used to talk shit on the barracks with he was like kind of like had a little. You remember that dude? I forget his name, but anyway, there was these shows on the barracks that were like huge, and it made you think like, fuck, what do we got to do? And it's like, no, we're just staying the course. We're who we are. They're who they are. And we were here before them. Like people are going to get tired of indoor skate parks, and we're skateboarding. So that's it.
That's good to hear, because it kind of reaffirms to just stay on your own path and not chase the hot thing, so that, you know, because the hot things just die out, and then you're going to constantly be looking for the next hot thing, and then you're not you anymore, but you're just whatever's the hot thing, and then that could take you to whatever fucking thing, you know, that you're not even into, but you're like, we got to do it because it's the hot thing, compared to Felper, where it's like, we're here, this is us, we'll see, all the shit's gonna die down, we'll still fucking be us, still going. I like that. Yeah,
it's a slippery slope between evolving and learning and staying true to yourself, right? Like you want to evolve and learn. So change is okay, but you also want to stay true to who you are. You got to do you. You don't just jump in the back seat and start listening to Britney Spears because everyone else is. But you might like Britney Spears and you might tell them to put it on it, even though you're going to get fucking heckled. Like whatever the case may be, you got to stay true to you.
Yeah.
If you're this different chameleon that's in every car is a different dude, these skateboarding, these dudes are going to cross over and they're going to be like, wait, what happened to Schmitty fucking Hesher? He's a hip hop dude? What the fuck? Like, you're just like, nah, this is the same dude. So I would tell the kids, stay true to who you are.
Yeah. The question, what I was kind of getting at with the whole like business side of things with Think and thing is like, they went through like a good amount of success, you know, and you probably were there when they were just figuring it out. So you're probably watching these dudes who are just skaters, not knowing what the fuck they're doing, to like having some success, and then like having to be like, figure, like be in it, become these things and keep it going.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like, cause I started a brand, but it's like, I still feel like don't know what I'm doing at times. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wonder if there'll be a point where I'm like, I feel like I got this figured out, you know? Like I want with Thrasher and those brands, it seems like they started just raw skateboarders, not really knowing what they're doing. And then they figured things out and created epic shit, you know? It feels like they got a pattern and a rhythm and got the right people, and those people stepped up to what needed to be done, you know?
Yeah, I think that personally, I think it's the attitude. I think that you have this, nucleus, this backbone of who you are. So you're going to attract people that are down for that, right? Yeah. And you're going to tinker and do different things because we all evolve and there's different things going on and you acclimate to change and all this stuff, but you're still the same dude, right? It's like Mickey Reyes could go up and open a bar and it's going to be badass.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
He's Mickey, so his bar is going to be rad, right? If he opens up a record store, probably going to kick ass. Like whatever that dude does is going to be sick because he's Mickey Reyes. And I think that's what Thrasher is. No matter what they do, they're Thrasher. So they can put Gary Rogers on there and it's going to work. Like people love Skateline, right? But I don't know, like if it was Slap or Big Brother or one of the different mags, like maybe it would have got more scrutiny or it just wouldn't work somehow. But I feel like once you're in with Thrasher, you're good. Like obviously there's things that don't work out sometimes, but I just feel like they can experiment with things that are a little not so that you wouldn't expect, and there's a good chance it's going to work because the way that we're doing it, like the brain power that goes into it is like, we're going to give our twist to this, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Cause it's like, like Thrasher has a mission statement and stayed true to it. So they're able to, understand their core and what they are and where they came from, and so then they can keep growing and take chances, and it's still going to have that essence to it. I mean, that's a lot of it was Phelper's attitude, was the essence of Thrasher, you know, like right. He embodied it and carried it forward, and he imprinted it on skateboarding forever, you know?
Yeah, but that's so true. But also what people don't realize is Jake took that from Stesic and Mofo and KT, who were the pioneers of Thrasher. So this has been something that's been an influence on the readers, and the people that gravitated towards it have wanted to be a part of this thing. So they've had their own version of that voice, but that voice wasn't necessarily original because, dude, Stesic wrote crazy shit in the early days, as did Mofo, and so I think it's important for people to know their history and respect, like, the nuts and bolts and things that made this stuff happen. And we're celebrating 40 years this year at the mag, which is unheard of. We're still in print and it's so thick. And you go into an airport and what other mags are on the newsstands in print? There's not many. And it's just really a huge celebration, that skateboarding has kept this, what we call the Bible, if you will, kept it going. And nobody's fucking resting on laurels. Nobody's doing any of that. It's like Tony, the owner, is in the plant all day, every day, working on new ideas, thinking things out, talking to the staff, figuring shit out. Burnett works fucking harder than you don't even want to know that guy's hours. And so it's just like all this stuff is like not just happening. There is a lot of effort and work that goes into it. But what I was gonna say is it's so cool to like this last issue, there's like a feature on Bryce Kanights, right? He doesn't work for Thrasher anymore, but let's pay homage to the dude that fucking was there before us, that like, why are we working here? Because dudes like that were doing rad shit that drew us to wanting to be a part of it, right?
Yeah.
So let's not say we're better than or anything. Like, let's just pay tribute to like this whole step of the way. Like, it's been like, I mean, Mofo's stuff was incredible. KT has, there's just like, we're going through and we're scanning all these old photos and stuff, and you're just like, wow, this is like not instant. This is like, you took the photo, you didn't see it until a week later, right? Think how hard it is just with your phone to see it, and how many times you do that till you get the perfect one and you can see it.
Yeah.
Imagine taking John Gibson in the full pipe that you fucking trespassed in, and he's in between shadows, just in the perfect spot where the sun is. And it's like,
it's concentrated focus. Like, you really got to be there. Yeah, that's insane.
like some of those things with the graininess of the film, I just love all of it. So I don't know.
All right, so I got a direction to go from here.
Right.
There's two things I want to bring up. First, I just want to mention Tim Mckenney again, and there was a board released for him recently, right?
Yeah, we did do that.
Walk us through that.
Okay, that was a good story. Tim Mckenney, pro skateboarder for Think Skateboards.
Fuck yeah.
At one point in his life, had some Phil died, I think is what he would tell you. Straight up. 2 words, Phil died, right?
For people listening, can you explain what how Phil passed or what happened there?
Yeah, he was on a trip. They were going up to Burnside, actually. It was like him, Diego, Jake, Luke, and maybe Coco. I forget who else was there, but they went to Arcata, which is this coastal town in California, and that was their first stop. Skated and partied, and they met this girl, and she came to pick up Phil and take him to a party, and she was drunk and crashed the car, and he died. So that was really heavy. Phil had he had knee surgery prior to that, so he wasn't skating for about a year, maybe less, maybe like 6 months. It was actually pretty quick. Like, he was grinding a pool, like, I remember, really quick after his surgery, and we're like, dude, right? But he was off it for a while, and this was the first trip where he was back, and they were gonna go, with Luke, shoot photos for the mag, and so that happened. And Phil obviously loved, my bad, Tim obviously loved Phil, as we all did, and he had become a big important reason why Tim was doing what he was doing. Like, I'm skating for Think, I love Phil, we fire each other up, like. So at that same time, Tim had some other issues, I think, personally, that kind of weighed on him, and then I think the Phil one, along with all that, was just kind of snapped him, and he looked at skateboarding differently and was like, I'm out. Like, I'm over this. This is changing in a way I don't like, And so he stopped. He was no longer, I didn't see him for 15 years.
Damn.
I talked to him maybe 3 times in 15 years, and we were pretty close, I would say. He hits me up almost every day now.
Fuck yeah.
So I started this podcast, and it was about it was early. It was in the first 10, I believe. And somehow Tim came into my life, and I was like, well, dude, it would be sick. What if our first encounter after all this time is on the podcast, and you come down and we'll just fucking record everything we talk about, and let's just fucking let it fly. And he showed up, and dude had like, I think he was smoking vape pens in the parking lot and fucking probably crushing a Budweiser, just like anxiety out of his mind. Like, he was nervous. And also it was at Thrasher, where he hadn't been in years, and it was stirring up some memories for him. So I feel for him there. And when he came in, and I don't know, man. I wish we didn't do video back then. It was just Mike and Mike. And I wish it was on video because I'd probably say the first 5 or 10 minutes, maybe you could just tell like this was going to be hard, right? And then something clicked. Like either I said something or he said something, and there was a joke, and we just realized like we love each other. We're homies.
Yes.
And then boom, it was on, and we talked for like 2 hours or whatever, and had the best time. And he drove home and he's calling me like, dude, I fucking, he's all fired up. If you know Tim, like when he's on a good one, there's not many better things. Like the dude gets so stoked, and
such a huge heart, dude. For
yeah,
sure.
he's a huge heart. And ever since then, we just like, he'll text me at like 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'll wake up to his text, and he'll be like, what are we going to do? Who's the, just fired up. And he kept firing me up. And like, every time I would drop an episode, he'd be like, dude, I love that one. I like this part. And he really listened to it and broke it down for you, what he liked, what he didn't like. And long story long is I got him involved more often. I'd have him be a caller once in a while. And then we started this thing called First Impressions. And it would be like, the first thing I remember about Mike Carroll was da 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 da. And it would be Tim's voice. And people like, would hit me up and they're like, dude, that Mckenney shit is fire. Keep it coming. And, I'd get with him and we'd just do a music one. Like, let's just do songs that we're stoked on. And he would always go off on a tangent on all this rad shit that like brought him back to like our soul, which is skateboarding, right? It was like, dude, Cairo Foster at fucking Built to Spill, dude, like whatever, like it was just like sick. So, and I feel like we're kind of yin and yang. Like I'm kind of a little more mellower, I think, and just kind of let him go. And then I'll have like a little, and I felt like it works really well. And
it does. It definitely does.
It was really fun. At some point, he comes at me. He's like, hey, Jeremy Fish, this great artist from San Francisco, that used to work for Think, drew Tim's last graphic right as Tim quit. So it never came out, right? So Tim has the artwork hanging on his wall, and he sends me a photo of it. And I was like, let's do the first podcast skateboard of all time. Like, what if we like a first pro, like your name on there or whatever? I didn't even know it was out there. Like I was like, later, Andy Roy was telling me that, dude, there's so many. There's a few other ones already or stuff. I was like, so
whatever.
Dude, Steve O's got his already. But so I'm friends with Jeremy, and Jeremy has so much love and respect for Tim. But I wanted to honor, like, dude, I don't know if this is disrespectful because I know you're a much better artist now. And I don't know, looking back, is this like, oh, that's garbage. I don't want to put that out. Like that could turn. So we sat down and talked, and he was like, do it. Like, no, not even hesitation, not even like how much you can sell it for, how much money's involved, anything. It was just like, do it. Tim is one of my favorite people that's ever lived. Yes. Please, if you guys want to do it, do it. So we made like a small run of t-shirts through our friends at Roche, who screen print.
Fuck yeah.
And I sent the board off. It took like 8 or 9 months because boards are tough these days to get, apparently. Yeah. It was my first experience with making a board, and I'm pretty proud, dude. It came out pretty good. Tim's he went full Mckenney on me, and he would kind of wish that it was a different shape. And I'm just like, dude, these boards are for the wall. Like, I ain't skating this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. We only made 50, or did we make 100 or 50? I forget, but we only made I think we made 100, and I got 50 and he got 50. And he kept all 50 of his. That dude's insane. Awesome. I got another story to follow this. It's really amazing.
Beautiful.
But so like our local skate shop, Atlas, who was the first skate shop that opened up, like the podcast is Talking Schmidt, and I make some merch, and they were like, we'll sell some of your shirts. That was the
Fuck yeah.
first skate shop that ever, wait, this is a possibility. Like I was kind of joking and it came through and I was like, dude, mad love, anything I can do. You guys fucking rule. That's so cool. And then when the Mckenney thing came, they're like, dude, we're San Mateo Skate Shop. Tim Mckenney is San Mateo. Like, duh, we're buying his shit, right?
Yeah.
And so they bought a bunch of shirts, right? Because we made the logo on the shirt and they bought either one or two boards. And Tim went in and bought all the shirts off of them.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I called them. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Tim's crazy. Like, he wants to have all the shirts. And I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. But they were laughing so hard. I just thought that's a perfect example who this dude is, though. He's just got a heart of gold and he's very, I don't want the wrong hands in my life. I've seen the demons. I've seen this. I need this and I need it to be this way. And a lot of people probably can't deal with him on that level because for one reason or the other. But fortunately, he and I have known each other since probably 93 or something, like early on, And so like we can get in a fight, but we can also make up real easy, and the love that we have and the miles that we've shared and the memories and all that stuff can never be fucked with. So it's great. I told him I was going to do this thing with you and he was like, fuck yeah. He's so stoked on your shit with all of it, but like he loves, I think it's the Westgate and the Donnie Barley one. He like
Of
always
course, yeah.
he always talks about that. But yeah, so that board came out and we have a few left. We have a website where we sell like our merchandise and stuff, and then Tim has a bunch that he's given like to his dad and the important people in his life, and then I think he has a stack of them that he probably just gonna skate or keep till his kids get older. He has 2 kids, and so yeah, we'll see. He's the best, though. I can't say enough good things about old Tim.
Yeah, Tim's helped me out a lot digitally, man. I like he has such a strong personality. You can feel the love through like the digital wires for sure. Like he'd be on my YouTube channel early on and just like sending these comments that like only a true skater could send, like it's like he almost knew like what I would worry about, and he would like say the right thing to just like ease my comfort and things, and it really helped a lot. I was like, damn, this dude, like we're skaters, like we think alike and he's trying to help. And every time I could just feel the love like through it. And I'm like, this dude is a one of a kind human. And like, I've always watched his skating growing up and stuff and seeing him ripping in the videos and all that. And then to like meet him online again and again, like through the YouTube channel, I was like, this dude is fucking epic, like an epic human. Like, and I could see that you'd get in a fight with him and then make up because he's a real person. You know what I mean? Like he's got ups and downs, and he's there when he's there, and he cares a lot. And he's like he reminds me of someone that could be in my family. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, and he has kind of that same mentality that I'm drawn to, which is be real. Like don't pull punches. Tell me straight up what it is. I might not agree with you, but just tell me what's on your mind. Like if you don't like this shit, tell me. Like I might still like it, but just don't be fake. Like and that's a huge part of him. I think he sees what you said. You nailed. Like he comes from a skateboard mentality where he's like, I know you're thinking this, and don't think that because I'm giving you an okay as a fellow skater, and that our peers to me are the most important ones. Like I love Johnny and Billy in Kansas. They lived a block from Malto and their dad grew up with fucking Joseph Lopez or whatever their story is. But like, I'd rather like hear from Malto. My peers, the guys that are doing it are the ones that I want to get their blessing. And Tim absolutely did it and continues to do it. He's one of the best skateboarders of all time. He's fucking phenomenal on a skateboard. It's just insane to see a guy not skate for 15 years and come back and do like backside 540 ollies on flat. And you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, wait,
Yeah.
well, how good could you be, dude?
Yeah. That
Like,
shit's fucking,
was
that
it
shit's
boring?
inspiring. Yeah, that shit's inspiring because you're like, this dude's just doing it out of pure love, and like he's
Yeah.
still ripping so hard, and he's like got the work and got the kids, and it's like
Yeah.
fucking unbelievable, dude.
And so much turmoil upstairs. I mean,
Yeah.
we all do, but dealing with your brain sometimes is the hardest part.
That's what I kind of wanted to reach back to him and say that, like, just, well, I'm glad we're talking about him because the truth is, like, I hope he's not hard on himself because, like, he's helped me out a lot and, like, he's doing good, man. He's doing epic. So I'm happy the board came out. I'm happy that he's part of your show. I maybe just tell a little bit more about your podcast. Like, why did you start it? Who are some of the guests that you're like, some highlights? And just maybe wrap it up with like how people can find it and what you're working on towards the future with everything. And
Well, okay, I got this idea.
nice.
What if we take your audience for a little journey and we go over to this place called talkinschmidt.com. That's TALKINSCHMIT.com.
Yes.
Right after I'm done with your interview, and I'll have you still in the same seat, but on the other side of the mic where I'll ask you the questions. So your audience can come and we can do a second part to this, me interviewing you. And that could help people understand the vibe over there. But I will say some background information is that I was doing Thrasher radio with Jake, and it's kind of like a podcast. I would call it a podcast, but he called it Thrasher Radio. And if you're not familiar with it, it was basically he would have guests like Tony Trujillo's on. Tony, what are your favorite songs? In between each song, they'll tell a story and then go back to another song, right? So maybe like a handful of songs and a handful of stories done. And I was producing it. I was just behind the scenes, like making sure his mic was in front of him. Like Jake couldn't do any of that stuff. And then I would edit it down and make sure that we took out anything that maybe would get him into trouble, and just, you know how it is.
You were working hard over there, huh?
Yeah, dude, the shit that I've edited, man, from a guy that couldn't even speak and made him look like a genius. I swear I should get fucking, but that's a whole other thing. But so at this point, I'm like, I could do this myself. Like, I'm doing everything except for interviewing the guy. At the time, I was a little blinded probably, and like now that I look at it, I'm like, wow, this isn't easy. Like, to interview people it's very challenging, especially for me. I'm not like I've grown a lot. I feel more comfortable now, but in the beginning, I really was nervous, and it was hard for me to like feel like my time, or that their time was worthy of me. Like, oh, I got Bob Burnquist here. Like, why are you even here, dude? You jumped off the Grand Canyon and I just started a podcast. But like, eventually people were like, dude, I like what you're doing. And that's all it took, right? Like having like one dude that you respect say, dude, fucking, that was cool. You're like, I'll keep doing it. Right. So it started like that. And then Jake died. And I grabbed on with both hands. And I've said it a lot, but it's my therapy, really. It's like I'm catching up with people and just kind of like exhaling and being like, dude, every day's hard. And then Preston died. Like, Preston had already died. And so I was kind of talking about Preston a little bit, and then Jake died. And so Preston and Jake, that was my team. Like, we didn't even talk about Preston, but like, I think everyone knows who Preston is. P Stone, Brew Ray, like we were a 1-2 punch for many years. Like Preston and I can't, like, that's a whole other podcast, but
the amount of people that Preston's like made an impression on and helped and touched is like everyone knows for sure.
Yeah. So what I didn't know at the time was this was going to be a vehicle for helping me grieve, basically, to make a long story shorter. Um, and dude, I swear when I started this, I had no idea. Like, I didn't know Eric J was going to die. I didn't know Grosso was going to die. I didn't know fucking just last week, Joe Hammocky was going to die. Like, and I don't want to come across so negative and morbid and grim. But we all need to figure out a way to like figure out how to get through this stuff. This shit ain't easy, man. And we only have one life. And like, I do like talking about it with people that will talk about it with me. And most of the people that I have on the show are good friends of mine, like Omar Hassan, who I've spent a lot of time with these people that are missing. And so we can talk about it pretty comfortably. Like, remember when we went there with Preston and he did that, and we can laugh about it. And I think I don't know, I'm not a therapist, but I feel like it's a good healing process, along with giving a lot of content to people who are living in this crazy time of lockdown. So it was really interesting, like to get the podcast kind of like into fourth gear right as lockdown happened. And then Zoom opened up this avenue where I could reach out to people that I didn't have to be in contact with, which was super fortunate. Otherwise, we would have had to shut it down. And I've just embraced it. I've really enjoyed having like that, once again, individualism. I'm stumbling a lot, but I don't have to answer to anybody. Like, yeah, I fucked up. That sucked. But that was my episode. Deal with it. You don't have to listen to it. Why did you spend that much time talking shit on me about it? Stop listening to me if you don't like it. Like, why are you here? Also, there's no comments. Like I started doing this thing on YouTube because we were video chatting. So it made sense. I was like, let's put them up. Let's put the video versions up. And what I took from it so far, I'm kind of, I keep saying I'm retiring as a YouTuber and just going back to audio only because first of all, and I don't want to get hung up on the numbers, but the numbers are very weird. Like when you look at like your podcast and you see thousands of people or listens or whatever they call them, and then you look at a YouTube version, you're like, there's like 100 or something. Like the difference is really startling to me. And then I'm like, well, why would anyone want to look at me talk? Like I'm not like whatever, like I'm fucking beat down dude. And like this, a lot of people confuse me for Brad Pitt, but come on, let's be honest. But
you're a looker, bro. You're a looker.
Yeah. But so yeah, I don't know. And then but the main thing was outside the difference in that was the comments and like this is so I didn't really realize it at the time, but I think I have to say that I did do the podcast in the beginning, or why I was doing it was because I enjoyed putting something out that I didn't have to hear about. Like we can all assume it's great or whatever and go on, but I don't have to hear, because I think you'll probably agree. I mean, it's nothing new that anyone else hasn't said, but 500 positive comments can be outweighed by one negative one. Like you can hear one negative thing and it can stick with you for a week, and that can really kind of bum you out in a way where you're like questioning whether you should put out the effort, because these things do take a lot of effort and time, and you're investing a lot of yourself into it, and you're putting yourself out there in a way where like people love to judge. And so, not for nothing, but yeah, it's kind of a risky position. And then you're like, well, fuck, man, I thought I was giving people cool shit for free and they still want to put it down. Like, it's like, it's not affiliated with Thrasher. It's not like this branded thing. It's my own personal thing. And I've never really even used Thrasher as a vehicle to popularize it in any way. Like I don't give it to Tony for his Instagram plugs, or we don't put it in the junk drawer. I just kind of wanted it to be organic and like see how much I could grow on my own. Like, and kind of just be like, you've always been Schmitty at Thrasher. Let's see what Schmitty can do, right? And believe me, I understand the impression that Thrasher has had on my life. Like I'll always be Schmitty from Thrasher, and most people will give me their time because I've worked with Thrasher, and they'll see that in that. I'm not naive in any way, but what I'm saying is I just wanted to try to do something that was more just my shit. If I don't want to cross the T, I don't cross the T. If I want to spell then wrong, I spell then wrong. Like these things that people get hung up on that really are like, yeah, but did you see the kickflip? Who gives a fuck how I spelled then? The kickflip, bro. Skateboarding.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always been about. Like, I didn't graduate from college. I'm not like, dude, I'm a skateboarder that like more of like a videographer and a photographer now. Like I mean, I love skateboarding and I skate and I try my best, but like, I'd rather fucking film you fucking doing something like, epic than going and doing my slappies.
I get that.
But so I don't know. I mean, it's been a lot of things, but therapeutic has been definitely one of them. And then it's also kind of like that thing that I haven't done my whole life that I get to learn a lot about in a quick way again, which is really refreshing for me. Starting off without a mic and seeing how different it could be with a mic, and then seeing like, okay, you need a new mic and look how much better this is, and then learning about Zoom, and then learning about post-production, and learning about levels, and just learning. That's my shit. Like any day I learn something, I smile at the end of the day. If I don't learn something, I go crazy. If I sit around all day and I haven't done anything or learned anything, I feel like I just wasted 24 hours. It's like, fuck. So this thing has been a vehicle of like, kind of like starting to surf when you never surfed before. Like, whoa, you progress really fast because you're so hungry for it, right?
Yeah.
Although surfing's not something you progress fast at. But what I'm trying to say is like, the podcast thing has been that, but therapy too. And then I'm just kind of nuts a little bit, right? With like, I'll drink coffee and like, you're like, Schmitty, I was asking you about your dad's middle name. What are you talking about? But it's like, I'll go off on these tangents and it's like, that's cool.
Yeah. No, well, I'm fucking glad you do the podcast because you got a lot of history and a lot of stories and knowledge, and your guests, you have access to a lot of epic humans, and I feel like it's preserving skateboarding and those stories and all that. It's kind of documenting all the history and blood, sweat, and tears, and it's preserving the energy into a digital form, and you can feel it, and it helps, So I'm glad that other people are out there with shows and not scared of a challenge. And because it is hard if people are, you're by yourself trying to figure out how to create something, and you're vulnerable, you're putting stuff out there, you're trying to there's days where people are passing and it's hard to like get in front of a mic and want to talk and figure it out. But I agree with you, man. It's therapeutic. It can help. And I'm glad that you do it. So thanks.
Well, fuck yeah. What do you think about taking a little piss break?
Yeah.
Checking out and then logging back in, and we'll ask you some questions.
I'm down, man. I'm totally down. And should we just keep it recording, or should we actually stop it and come back?
We could stop, and then I could invite you, and then you can have this for yours, and then I'll have mine for mine.
Okay.
That might make sense.
Yeah, let's try that. Let me make sure I stop this and actually it saves and all that stuff.
Okay. Big shout out to Tim Mckenney and Lasco, because I know you're watching.
Hell yeah. Yeah, thanks again, Schmitty. This was awesome. And
Dude, thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad that we connected and made this happen, because this was awesome for me.
It's like you. Tupac and Biggie all over again.
All right, man. I'm gonna stop this piss break, and then send me the invite. You have my email, right?
Yep.
So I'll look for it in there.
Okay.
Peace.